After the temporary ceasefire period, Russia has once again intensified large-scale strikes on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. The question is no longer whether blackouts will occur, but how Ukraine is trying to keep its power system operating under sustained military pressure. Russia strikes Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Russia has carried out successive large-scale attacks against key power grid facilities across Ukraine, triggering widespread power outages. One of the main targets was a large substation in the Lviv region, which plays a critical role in distributing electricity in western Ukraine and serves as an important transit point for electricity imports from the European Union. The strikes have caused extensive blackouts, severely affecting hospital operations, urban transport systems, and daily life, as temperatures in several areas have dropped below freezing. Prolonged power cuts in many rural areas have also led to repeated disruptions to both mobile and fixed line communications, as backup batteries at base stations and switching centers are unable to sustain operations for extended periods. In this context, what measures is Ukraine implementing to maintain the operation of its power system and other essential services? Developing new energy sources. Before the war, Ukraine relied heavily on nuclear power. These large, centralized energy facilities have become highly vulnerable targets during Russia's strikes. To address this weakness, Ukraine is accelerating the development of alternative energy sources, such as wind and solar power, not only to meet civilian demand, but also as part of its national energy defense strategy. These renewable sources play an important role in diversifying supply and reducing risk when critical infrastructure is under attack. In particular, such systems are inherently decentralized. If one wind turbine is destroyed, the remaining turbines can continue operating. This is very different from a thermal power plant, where a single successful strike can shut down the entire facility. Today, energy storage systems are also becoming an essential component of Ukraine's decentralized energy network. They help balance electricity generated from different sources and maintain grid stability when weather conditions are unfavorable. Applying advanced technologies, Ukraine is deploying large-scale battery storage systems designed in the United States and installed at undisclosed locations. These so-called battery parks have a combined capacity of around 200 megawatts, enough to supply nearly 600,000 households with electricity for about 2 hours. More importantly, during missile and drone attacks, these battery systems help extend grid stability, giving engineers valuable time to respond to failures and preventing large-scale grid collapse. With a total investment of approximately 140 million US dollars, the program is a core part of Ukraine's strategy to modernize and decentralize its power system. Their modular design allows individual battery units to be replaced without shutting down the entire system, significantly improving resilience under attack. At present, 6 battery facilities are directly connected to the national grid in Kyiv and the Dnipropetrovsk region. Wartime initiatives. Ukraine's substations are highly vulnerable to Russia's precision strikes. When key equipment at substations is destroyed, electricity flows from power plants to residential areas and businesses can be cut off across wide areas. To protect critical transmission nodes from repeated attacks, Ukraine has begun relocating some key substations underground. Reinforced concrete underground facilities are expected to reduce damage during air and missile strikes. So far, one substation has been brought into operation inside an underground structure, and a second facility is currently under construction. However, each project costs tens of millions of US dollars, while Ukraine has nearly 100 critical substations that would require protection. Moving substations underground is considered an important long-term solution for energy security, but it will take many years to implement on a large scale, especially while the war is still ongoing. Strengthening air defense capabilities. President Volodymyr Zelensky has repeatedly stated that strengthening air defense remains the most critical measure to protect cities and energy infrastructure. He has called on Western partners to provide additional air defense systems and interceptors, as Russia increasingly relies on missiles and low-cost drones to strike Ukraine's power grid. Ukraine is also accelerating the development of drone-based interception solutions, aiming to create more affordable and flexible defensive options against large-scale attack waves. The Ukrainian military is now introducing a new air defense model based on mobile fire groups, interceptor drones, and short-range air defense systems. Kyiv has appointed a new deputy commander of the Air Force to directly lead and oversee this transformation of the country's air defense architecture. The battle over energy infrastructure shows that this is no longer merely a technical or economic issue, but has become a genuine strategic front. As Russia continues to systematically erode Ukraine's power grid using missiles and low-cost drones, Kyiv's ability to endure will increasingly depend on how many critical infrastructure nodes it can protect from repeated strikes. In the months ahead, the ability to defend the power system is likely to become one of the key factors determining Ukraine's resilience in its war of attrition with Russia.